Hello and welcome back. We are here to talk about yet another Kindle sample. We have this endless pile of Kindle samples. I will never reach the end of it until I do, which is when the sun burns out and all of the black holes just go skittering through the void of space to dissolve until the end of time. And then I will read my last Kindle sample. But that is not today. Today we are looking at A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Looking at the cover, it looks very magic-y, right? We got the all-seeing eye in the middle, we got phases of the moon, all that good stuff. And what really kind of keys it open to me is that the subtitle is Lesson 1 of the Scholomance. So this is the first book in a series. Scholomance, I'm not sure what that is, but I do know the mance suffix on a word, like cartomancy or oniromancy or something like that, usually means divination, like learning the future of something. And so scholomance, divination by learning, maybe? Who knows? So magic education, magic school, something like that. Right? And of course, with the name Deadly Education, it sounds like it's going to be chock full of fun. So let's find out. I'll read the sample and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so stick around. Alrighty. Yeah, I was kind of right. I didn't really understand the extent of it, but I was kind of right. It is about a magic school. It is about, we have our narrative character, our first person narrator, whose full name is Galadriel, and she hates that. And we get from her, at least in this sample is a lot of setup. This sample is a lot of information about the world in which they live. And I think that is because, we need to know sort of what the rules of this place are. And the narrator kind of provides a lot of that to us. We learn that she is in the Scholomance, which is a magic school. But when we think magic school, we're probably going to start thinking of Harry Potter. We're thinking of Hogwarts, right? Where it's a bunch of little kids running around in robes having fun. And occasionally there's an adventure, but it's usually, somebody makes Professor Snape's angry in potions class or something. This isn't that. The magical world that Ms. Novik has crafted here is a world that is almost actively malicious. And being able to wield magic in this world isn't funny or light or charming or twee. It is a constant fight against, number one, the awful malevolent creatures that exist in the world that love to feed off of magical people, and resisting the urge to do dark, harmful, awful things, right? Using a force that she sort of creates a dueling forces called mana and malia. And mana is, as we would kind of expect, anybody who's played an RPG, right, is that force of kind of basic magical energy. And you can get good mana by exercising, by praying, by meditating, stuff like that. But when you really need something and you don't have the mana for it, there is the malia. Right? This is where one of the examples that she gave was, you could create a cake out of thin air, and in order to get the energy to do that, you kill an ant colony out in the backyard, right? So it is a magical energy that comes from harm and death. And the world of this book is one where it's extremely tempting to use that kind of energy. And where she even says that it's not uncommon for people to become dark magic users, malefactors, and to start using the energy of death and harm to do the magic that they want to do. And the unfortunate thing is that our narrator, Galadriel, is very good at doing that. Her particular set of skills are focused around destruction. She's really good at blowing stuff up. She would be a fantastic worker of dark and terrible magics, but she doesn't really want to be. That's the thing. She doesn't want to be that. Her mother is also a magic user, but is kind of a hippie, right? Lives in a hippie commune, raised Galadriel to be better. And of course, like a lot of teenagers, the young Galadriel just rejects her mother entirely and doesn't want to be associated with this. But her mom kind of has detached herself from the magical community. She's like, no, these are all a bunch of horrible people. I don't want anything to do with them. And in fact, her Galadriel's father had, I think, died graduating from the school, because graduation means it's not a ceremony. It's not a place where they come and they read you a lovely scroll. Graduation means they dump you in a pit full of some of the most horrifying magical monsters that exist, and you have to fight your way out. And usually only a quarter of the graduating class actually survives. So that's kind of what this is, right? And you get the sense that the students in this school are probably going to bend towards evil. They're going to try to manipulate each other to get the better of each other. That the sort of the community that is built here is one that where people who are the strongest and the trickiest and people who have the fewest compunctions about using their magic to get what they want are probably the ones who are going to survive when graduation comes. That's the vibe that I get. And she suggests that there are schools all over the world which each runs under different ethoses, or different, that sounds right, different ethoses. And one of the secondary characters is from the New York, the New York group. And one of the things that she mentions about the New York group is that, for example, they pool their mana. They seem to be a bit more cooperative, but he's an exchange student, and his name is Orion. And the book actually starts with Orion saving Galadriel from a soul eater, saving her from a horrible, slimy, disgusting creature that she's really angry about because she's convinced she could have taken it herself. She doesn't need him to save her. Why does he keep doing that? And you start to get the impression that Orion is very much the Harry Potter of this school. He finds himself always in situations where he saves people, he rescues people, he finds himself in grave danger that he manages to just get by out of the skin of his teeth. He is the Harry Potter, and she can't stand him for that, because that's not what their school is about. Their school is not about producing a Harry Potter. Their school is about producing a Voldemort. But again, our narrator, she doesn't want to be that. I think she just wants to get out. And she's always, at least throughout the sample, she's trying to resist the pull, the dark urge to use her magic to cut corners, to use her magic for personal gain, to use her magic to do awful things. And again, her classmates don't necessarily have the same compunctions as that. So the school itself is kind of neat. Again, it is, I have to keep going back to Harry Potter because right now it's at least the best touchstone we have for a magical school. Whereas in Hogwarts, if you wander around Hogwarts, you might get a little bit lost, or the paintings might tease you. But here, if you get a little bit lost, the monsters will eat you, right? You can and will die, and you probably you deserve it because you weren't being careful. So that's kind of what we get from this sample, is that she is studying at this school for magic. She is trying to resist the pull, the urge to be evil and malicious and hurtful, but she's in a place that encourages evil, malicious, and hurtful behavior, and frankly tries to weed out the people who are careless and helpful and kind, except, of course, for Orion. So that's what we've got in this sample, a dark magic school story. I don't think they're going to build a section of pavilion in Universal Studios for this series, but it does sound really neat. It sounds like fun, and I like the narrator is very much the kind of snarky teenage girl voice, very much the, why do I have to bother with all this stuff? All I want to do is clean my room and I can't get a spell for that. Why is this boy so nice to me all the time? Ooh, I can't stand him. So I like the narrative voice. And I think the world that Ms. Novik has created is really compelling and interesting. Do I want to read the rest? Sure, absolutely. I think magical schools are a really, really fun young adult trope. Because who hasn't wanted to be, special and weird? Who hasn't wanted to be taken to a place where someone will say, you have great potential and we're going to show you how to get that, right? Whether it's Hogwarts, whether it's, Xavier's Institute for Special Youngsters. I think I messed up the name, but you get the point, right? Harry Potter or the X-Men. I think who amongst us hasn't wanted to get that call that says you are special, you are different from all the other kids, and we're going to teach you how to use that difference and how to make a difference in the world. I still want that. I am slightly much older than being a teenager, and you know what? If an owl with an envelope showed up on my balcony right now, I would say, heck yes, and I'd go follow it. It'd be great. Probably not a good idea at my age, but Lord knows I would try. So yeah, it seems like a really fun book, and I think there's 2 books in the series right now, maybe 3. I didn't really check very closely, but there's more than just the one, so that's always good. So, do I want to read this? Yes, I do. I would enjoy reading this book, I think, very much. I do also love the idea of the character of Orion, right, who's trying to be the hero. The fact that he's American doesn't escape me. The book is set in England, so again, it is kind of that dark shadow of Hogwarts. But the idea of this American, very sort of heroic boy coming in and just feeling the need to save people, I find very funny. I like that. So, yeah, I think I think I'll give this one a read. Sounds like fun. So, if you've read this book and if you've read other books in the series and you want to chime in, how fair am I being? Do you think, is this kind of a reaction to Harry Potter? Do you really think is she writing this kind of in conversation with Rowling's book? Is it a denunciation of, or a, not denunciation, that's not the right word, but is it an elaboration or building on the concept of the magical school trope? What have I not seen yet? What am I looking forward to when I see the rest of the book? That's kind of what I'm hoping for, honestly, is that when we get to the rest of the book, that she's maybe poking holes in some of the assumptions that Rowling made when she built her magical school, right? That she did not really address or consider, like especially the relationship between a magical community and the world of the mundanes, because it's always been one of those things that bugged me a bit about the Harry Potter universe. They seem so very, very separate when, in fact, I don't think they should have been. But so yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read it and there's anything I should be looking forward to. In the meantime, you got any suggestions, any thoughts, any ideas, anything that's just popping into your head, put them down in the comments. I would love to hear them. Of course, you do the like thing, you do the subscribe thing, but you know what to do because you're on YouTube. You've been here before. So thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate it always, and I will see you next time.